Miller Park Zoo Education Manager Julia Benzel is joining me with a new animal ambassador. So who is this?
This is Jester. She's our American Kestrel. She's actually the smallest falcon in North America. So you were noting how petite she is. She is super petite. She actually only weighs about 6 ounces, so less than a pound.
Which is amazing because you said you were bringing a falcon, and I think in my head I thought it was going to be a giant bird, but she is gorgeous and tiny, and you have her for a very special reason, right? Because she is not able to go back into the wild.
Right, so she's non-releasable. She was found and she had a virus in that left eye, and our veterinary staff actually worked very hard to try and rehabilitate her and fix that eye, but it was just too far gone. So because she only has that one beautiful eye now, she is unable to hunt. So you talked briefly about binocular vision. Hold on.
Whoa, look at that.
Good girl. So that's called a rouse, and she does that when she's comfortable. So that's really good. Your presence must be really comforting to her.
I love it that she feels calm around me. She is such a calm bird. And I see she's now looking at me with her good eye.
She is. She can hear you.
So you were talking about binocular vision. So what does that mean?
So you and I, when we look at things in front of us, if you blink one eye or the other, things will move because our eyes work together to pinpoint things in space. That's how birds of prey work. So she uses both eyes to pinpoint her prey. But when they found her, she was very small. She was low in weight because she was always just to the right of her prey, never being able to catch anything since she couldn't see. So now she only has that one eye. She is unable to hunt in the wild. So we make sure she has her mice for breakfast every day. She is well fed and she is happy, healthy, no concerns now. And
speaking of healthy, so you were talking a little bit before about her tail feathers. If you want to kind of turn her a little bit and show her.
Sometimes she'll spread them out for us.
Do they molt, or how does this work with their feathers?
Yeah, she does molt. Sometimes she'll like spread them all out and you'll get to see all of them. But she did a beautiful molt. All of her tails are in great condition right now. And they're beautiful right now. So that is a normal thing for all birds to do, is molt their feathers.
Molt their feathers. And are these birds solitary? Do they mate? Do they mate for life? What are their breeding habits?
They're monogamous, so they'll pair up for breeding and then usually consecutively use the same nest year after year. But I think the coolest thing about it is where they do it. They are highly adaptable. They're found in cities and fields, even tropical lowlands. You can find these just about everywhere. So when you're driving on your next vacation, you'll probably see them on the telephone wires because they're hunting across fields that we drive by.
And so what do they hunt? You mentioned like mice and things like that. What else do they eat?
They're seasonal hunters, which I think is really exciting.
That is really cool.
So in the summer, they're hunting large invertebrates. They love a good grasshopper. They can hunt frogs, they can hunt small reptiles or birds, but as they go into the winter months, there are no invertebrates for them to find, so they're going more into those small mammals like mice.
And I noticed that she has kind of black under her eyes, which is something that you also kind of see in sports players. They put those black spots under their eyes. So what is that all about?
Yeah, so that's actually something we copy from animals. There's something called biomimicry, where we take something from the wild and copy it into our day-to-day lives. So this started with Velcro, actually, thinking about those burrs. There was a man on a walk and burrs got stuck to his dog or its leash, and he was like, let's make Velcro.
Right.
And then with them, you can see those black streaks. It takes the glare out of looking on a field. So we see this with baseball players and football players. But what we also see, when you're trying to look far away from you, you do like this.
Right.
Or you have a baseball hat.
Right.
If you look at her, she has that elongated brow bone that covers her eye for her. So 2 instances of biomimicry with these animals.
So she doesn't need you to kind of put that shield over her face. She has that naturally with the shape of her face when she does that.
Exactly.
And then these birds actually fly pretty fast, right? So how fast can they fly?
She flies at just under 40 miles an hour. So 39 miles an hour, she's flying through the air, but diving at 60 miles an hour to catch her prey. And she is almost silent when she swoops. She has these sharp talons that grab her prey and then bring it up to that tree where she was probably hunting from to eat it.
And I know that the animals that are animal ambassadors at the zoo are very well trained and they're used to being around people and things like that. So You were talking to me before a little bit about how her wings are not clipped and she could take flight. Can you talk a little bit about how you're getting her to stay put where she is right now?
Absolutely. So all of our birds of prey that you can think of in the whole country are federally protected. So we do not take them from the wild. We do not keep them if they are releasable. We do not trim feathers. We simply use bird jewelry. And she actually has her anklets on and her jesses when I go to see her. And I ask her to step up onto my hand, and all of my instructors have that same tone and like livelihood with it. So whoever tells her to step up, she'll get right on your hand, and then we'll put together her jewelry in our gloves, do a little knot at the end to make sure we keep her. But she's fully flighted. She can fly all around her habitat, and then when we get in there, she stops and we put our hand up and ask her to step up. So she is just trained to sit here.
And she's very well trained. I noticed that when you were getting her out, you just said step up, and she just was like, all right, here we go. Good. Now it's time to pose and sit and behave.
Yes.
And then my last question for you is, how big do they get?
She's full grown. So they can get to be 12 inches long from nose to tail, but she is full grown. She is about 6 ounces, so even less than a pound, and she's not gonna get any bigger than this.
And she's such a sweet bird. She responds to your voice. She just is so chill. Well, thank you so much for all of this information. Absolutely. I learned so much about American Kestrels. Thank you, Julia, for being here.
Thank you for having us.